Hi, folks. Jack O'Malley. Here it is, St. Patty's Day. How are you? Um, it's interesting. It's been a year now, obviously, since the COVID, and I think back to a year ago today, St. Patrick's Day. We were in session, and we knew the lockdown was coming. Schools had been closed. We were looking at what to do, and I go back to all. This is for those people who just think, the legislature and myself included, specifically as a horse's patoot, because we fought the governor. You've pushed back against the governor. Yeah, we have, but not at first. And I think that's important, and that gets lost in this whole COVID debate in the state of Michigan. Again, not preaching to the choir. I know you get it. And the people over here who just think I'm a lunk, I could tell you that there's nothing I could tell you to change that mind. But I'm talking to those people in the middle who are reasonable and understand. So balance has always been the key. I've said it from the beginning. So a year ago, we were in session till, I'm going to say, it was well after dark. And I remember thinking, this is the worst St. Patrick's Day I've ever had. But that night we appropriated $150 million to the governor because we didn't know what she was going to need as we were going into the lockdown. We knew that this was unprecedented. We were with the governor. I publicly stated so a year ago. But it wasn't until she started saying, changing things and not allowing any input from us. But, those first few weeks, I remember with the rumors of, state police are pulling you over. No, they weren't. What about motors and boats? What's going on there? Can I ride my motorcycle? I just need to get out of the house. But everybody thought you could only, we're stuck in the house and you could only go here to there. And they were going to, throw you in the gulag if they caught you. And it's like, no, get out. You need mental health. Go ride your bike, So that's what we were dealing with. And these wacky executive orders would come out even a year ago. And we'd say, well, wait a minute, Governor. In Ohio, they're doing it this way, and it's much better. And she'd adjust them. Here's my thought on that. Why did the governor stop listening to us? Because I think we were making her look stupid. I don't know how many executive orders came out, and it was like, this makes no sense. In Ohio and Indiana and Wisconsin and frickin' North Dakota and Florida, they're doing it this way. Why can't you do this? I forget the initials, but the federal standards, all the states adopt the federal standards except Michigan. The second or third phases, she wouldn't do it. That chose essential workers and that sort of thing. And I think she got annoyed that someone was actually explaining, and not just the governor, but her little cabal of people. I think they were like, well, why are they telling us what to do? We weren't telling you what you to do. We were pointing out your mistakes. So she stopped talking to us. And here we are, a year later. And it's just crazy. And I've had people criticize me, you're more worried about your liberties than the safety and health of the public. I call BS on that too. I have stated right from the beginning, I'm not for mandates, right? But yeah, you should wear your mask. I know, let's not get into it. I'm just referring. I think you should wear your mask because it takes the pressure off the small business person who was forced wrongly to be an enforcement agency. It makes other people comfortable. I could see where an 8-hour-a-day mask sucked to the high heavens. But I said, hey, don't force them, but wear a mask, you should. Wash your hands, social distance, all that stuff. Vaccines, I think that the social vulnerability index is not good because, again, if we don't want to, put one group above another, let's just talk about who's the most vulnerable and let's make sure that they get the shots, right? I'll get my shot. I'm happy to get the vaccine. I have no problem with it, but I don't want anybody to be forced to do it. And I also think that I want to make sure that the people who need it, our frontline workers, our elderly, the most vulnerable should get the shots first, right? There'll be time. I'll get it. I'm not living in fear. So I look back at this past year, and I think back to this being the St. Patrick's Day a year ago, and the uncertainty. And we still have much uncertainty ahead of us because we're not really 100% sure how much longer, and even President Biden and some of the things he's doing. It's like, come on, man, we can start moving from this and opening things up. Other states, it's funny when you look at other states, and I know that anybody can narrowcast, they can pick this or that and say, well, we're doing better here and they're doing worse there. But overall, you have to have balance, right? And many states have been much more open than the state of Michigan. And yes, they've had comparable illnesses, but maybe they focused on the elderly because like Florida has a bigger elderly population. My point is this. I'm getting criticized for standing up for people's liberties. And if I get criticized for that, I will consider myself a success because this is still America. And we were founded on those liberties. And that's one of the concerns that many people have. And I think rightfully so. When these are slippery slopes, and that's why your legislature has been standing in the way. We've been pushing back. We've been squealing. We've been telling people, watch this. We've sued when we've had the ability to sue. We've supported other groups when they've pushed back. Our governor has put us in a very nasty place out of arrogance, out of thinking she's doing the right thing in her little cabal. I don't know. I can speculate. But here we are, definitely a year into it, a crazy time. Now we have a Department of Health and Human Services director who leaves abruptly with nothing said, $155,000 check, and a gag order. What's with that? I know that our chair of oversight, I believe, is going to ask for the authority to subpoena Director Gordon. I think that's a good thing. I'm for it. Then there's also Steve Gray with UIA, and then the gentleman from the MEDC. He signed one of these things. So what's going on? How many more are there out there that have these agreements that we don't know about? So like I say, it's been an interesting time, and we've still got a long way to go. So, but let's keep fighting and let's keep moving forward. But let's remember balance. Yes, I am for taking care of the sick and making sure we do smart decisions. But on the other hand, yes, we've got to open our businesses. Yes, we've got to get things back. There's an infographic that I posted yesterday. Bars and restaurants, they're still hurting. Open them up 100%. Let them go. Let them be smart. They can do it. Have confidence in your people, Madam Governor. I do. Another quick thing I'll throw out there. We're getting close. I think we're going to have some healthcare reforms coming out here in the next few weeks out of committee. I'm going to talk to you more about that, but I want you to know that there's a lot of stakeholders in the area that are not happy with these bills, but one of which is our pharmaceuticals. There is reform there with our pharmaceutical benefit managers. That's a whole sham that is like, ooh, I don't know about that. We'll talk more about it, but I want to put that on your radar because people talk about healthcare reform. This package is really pinching people's patoots, but it's a good thing. It will reform our healthcare and situations, the cost of many things. So I'll talk more about this in the coming days, and as this moves to the floor and we go to a vote, I want you to be aware of it. But when you're talking to your friends and your neighbors, tell them, pay attention to these news stories. Don't just blow them off, because this is real reform. You're going to see it on a headline in a newspaper, or you're going to see a story pop up on your social media. Pay attention to it, because this legislature, our speaker, and a couple of our representatives, Rep. Colley and Rep. Calley, are really spearheading this thing. So go, go, go. More on that to come. And I just got a list today. I'll talk more about this maybe on Friday once I get to see. But from the 101st there were 23 National Guardsmen who were deployed in Washington. So I apologize for that food situation. It's good to have you home. Thank you for your service to this nation and this state. Our guardsmen from the 101st who were recently deployed. So more on that once I get some more numbers and things. But that's kind of an update on this St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to go get some dinner, and we'll keep talking. We'll keep you informed. And yes, I am for liberty. Right? Right. I got no shame there. I will defend our liberties, especially when they're getting stepped on. So have a good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and we'll talk to you again on Friday. Good night.